things are simple and something mystery. I feel some things are simple and some things leave doubt, but this ain't no mystery. I figured it out. My old truck runs a little bit smoother. Can't help but think I'm a little bit cooler than I ever was. My old hat sits a little bit straighter. My backyard garden's got bigger tomatoes, and that's because things go better with love. Well, this world keeps turning, it goes on and on. We found the secret right here at home. My old truck runs a little bit smoother. Can't help but think I'm a little bit cooler than I ever was. My old hat sits a little bit straighter. My backyard garden's got bigger tomatoes, and that's because things go better with love. Well, you can grease the wheels with money, but it's likely to leave you cold. And you can wine and dine, and all that's fine. But one thing that I know, my old truck runs a little bit smoother. Can't help but think I'm a little bit cooler than I ever was. My old hat sits a little bit straighter. My backyard garden's got bigger tomatoes, and that's because things go better with love.
I hope you enjoyed seeing where we came from, and a big hello and welcome to Autism Edmonton's 50th anniversary celebration. My name is Riker, and I have proudly been the Autism Edmonton ambassador for this past year. Tonight I will be your host. We hope everyone is settling in with their food, and a shout out to the St. Louis Bar and Grill in St. Albert for the Rub-a-Dub Grub tonight. All over Canada, St. Louis Bar and Grill locations do annual fundraising to support their local autism serving organizations. So if you're thinking of going out to eat, keep them in mind, as they have also just opened up a Sherwood Park location. I'm just going to cover some housekeeping items, as you already know this is a virtual event for those of you joining us from home. We truly hope you can find your way to your own bathroom. We have a Feather Tracks program for you tonight. We're going to enjoy some videos about the organization and the people who got us here today, as well as the main event and what you have all been waiting for, the grand final of the greatest duck race ever. But before we get started, we'd like to invite up a few members of government and our board president, Gabrielle Baptiste, to say a few words about... Okay. But before we get started, we'd like to invite up a few members of our government and our board president, Gabrielle Baptiste, to say a few words welcome. So thanks again for tuning in. We hope you enjoy our evening.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike. This is Jaden. Say hi to everybody. And we're just so pleased to have the opportunity to be here tonight for the 50th anniversary of Autism Edmonton. Just such an incredible organization that has done so much work on behalf of the people of Northern Alberta over 50 years. Hard to believe it's 23 years now since Jaden was diagnosed in April of 1998. And when I think about the incredible work that this organization does, I think about a quote from John Wooden, one of my favorite quotes, which is that you cannot live a perfect day, or you can't live a perfect day without doing something for someone who will never be able to repay you. And I think about those first 27 years of Autism Edmonton, known as the Autism Society, the Autism Society of Edmonton and Area, various incarnations. But those first 27 years before we needed the organization, from the founding to the volunteers and staff who built the organization, donors that contributed money to the organization, and experts who contributed so much, and families. All of those inputs over those 27 years brought the organization to a place where it was exactly what we needed in 1998, in the spring of 1998, as we were trying to navigate this difficult world of early intervention. And for so many people in this region, in this province, the organization has been exactly that, a lifeline, whether it's diagnosis or early intervention or education, housing, employment, or that time of life when, as a parent, that you're getting older and you wonder what's going to be there for your children when you're gone. And if you're an individual with autism, what does the life look like when your parents are gone? And this organization is there, focused on exactly what it needs to be focused on during all of those different times during the lifespan. And we're so thankful to have such a valuable resource, and for all of those contributions that have gone in over those years. So to everyone celebrating tonight, we really wish we could be here in person with you. Jaden absolutely loves running around after we speak and giving everybody a high five, whether it's at the gala or the Cycle for Autism or some other event. Jaden always loves going around and meeting everybody and giving out his high fives. Of course, in the last 14 months or so, his high fives have been largely limited to family. But just know that virtually he would give you a high five, give you all a high five if he could. So again, to everybody involved in putting this event on during this difficult time, thank you so much. To the individuals with autism who are part of this organization, thank you for sharing your life experience to help build the organization and create something pretty special and be role models for someone like Jaden. And with that, I'm going to give Jaden a symbolic high five on all of your behalf, and then let him say goodbye to everybody. So do a high five and say goodbye to everybody. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I'm James Cumming, Member of Parliament for Edmonton Centre, and I want to send out a huge shout out to Autism Edmonton for the 50 years of service to individuals and families living in the Edmonton area with autism. I must say this is the first 50th celebration I've heard of where the main event is the greatest duck race ever, and I had a lot of fun watching a few races online. And congratulations to the winners of the Craft Beer Battle of Berta. I was really impressed with some of the team names. One of my favorites is the Quacken. The duck race is such a fun and unique way to bring people together and celebrate Autism Edmonton. I want to thank Autism Edmonton for all their hard work supporting individuals on the spectrum and their families. Through early intervention, focused engagement, and the continued practicing of skills, people with autism can increase their ability to communicate and interact with their community and surroundings. Thank you for all you do, and I hope you enjoy today's 50th celebration.
Hi there, I'm Rajan Sawhney, Minister of Community and Social Services. I'm so honored to have this opportunity to recognize the dedication and support Autism Edmonton has provided for 50 years. Year after year, Autism Edmonton strives tirelessly to enhance the lives of autistic Albertans through awareness, education, and inclusive opportunities. I know this year has been particularly challenging because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I would like to thank you all for your continued commitment, sacrifice, and creativity, ensuring our province's most vulnerable people are protected. Thousands of Albertans live with autism spectrum disorder and the challenges that come with it. However, with support, education, mentorship, anyone can be empowered to make positive choices, live healthy lives, and offer valuable contributions to society. The work that you do to support individuals on the autism spectrum is so important. The many outreach and respite programs offered by your organization play a vital role in skill development, relationship building, and inclusion for those who access them. I continue to be inspired by your passion and your commitment. I look forward to continuing to working with you towards a future in which children and adults with autism can live lives with dignity, equal opportunity, and inclusion. And on a lighter note, my new friend Ducky and I hope you've been enjoying the virtual duck races this week. Ducky didn't feel like getting his feet wet, so he's hanging out with me, but we're cheering you on and all of the relatives of Ducky who are racing today. Once again, congratulations on your milestone. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Congratulations on 50 years, Autism Edmonton. I'm Sarah Hoffman. I'm the education critic for the NDP official opposition. And on behalf of Rachel Notley and all of my colleagues, we want to say congratulations. You have every reason to celebrate tonight. You certainly are the village that love built. And I know that this last year has been especially trying for families with disabilities in particular. I know that you felt isolated. I know when educational assistants were laid off last spring, it was really tough on many of your families. I just want to say we're fighting for you, and we're so glad that you had each other's backs and that you continue to push for a more equitable society for all Albertans. Congratulations.
It's Mayor Don Iveson here, and it's my honor to help celebrate the 50th anniversary of Autism Edmonton and the great work that they do. Now, as many of you know, autism spectrum disorder affects 1 in every 66 children and therefore more than 22,000 families in the Edmonton area. Autism Edmonton provides these individuals and families with valuable resources, information, and advocacy. But they provide much more than that. They provide a family, a community, a village. And for individuals and their families learning to live with the disorder that affects the ability to communicate and form social relationships, life can feel isolating and lonely. And I can only imagine that as we've navigated the COVID-19 pandemic, these feelings of isolation were even stronger. Fortunately, Autism Edmonton provides a kind and compassionate place where those affected can feel supported and understood. And even throughout the past year, Autism Edmonton has worked to ensure the support and resources their clients have relied on did not go away. And this is why I was so pleased to see the vast participation in the ever-exciting duck races over the past week. Autism Edmonton needs our help to continue to offer these much-needed programs and services, and the duck races are a fun and safe way to support this great organization. So I'd like to thank the staff, volunteers, and sponsors of this year's event who work so hard to offer hope to many individuals and families in the Edmonton area and help make our city a stronger and better place to live for everyone. Thank you for your ever-generous support. And now it's my pleasure to read and offer the following proclamation. Whereas autism spectrum disorder is a lifelong developmental condition that can affect a person's communication, social interaction, and perception, behavior, and interests, and whereas 1 in 66 children and youth aged 5 to 17 are on the autism spectrum, with nearly 22,000 Edmonton families directly affected, and whereas for 50 years, Autism Edmonton has been creating a village built from love, supporting local families living with autism, and whereas the City of Edmonton values the contributions of all of our citizens and commends Autism Edmonton for its role in supporting individuals on the spectrum to become the best version of themselves, therefore I, Mayor Don Iveson, do hereby proclaim Autism Awareness Day in Edmonton, Alberta's capital city.
A huge thank you to all elected officials representing various levels of government for joining the celebration today. We appreciate the gift of your time and acknowledgement. On behalf of the board on this very special occasion of the 50th anniversary of Autism Edmonton, we respectfully acknowledge that we're located on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Métis, Inuit, and many others, whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We recognize the many First Peoples of Canada who've lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today, and those who have gone before us. 50 years ago, our organization was founded by families who recognized the need for dedicated services and advocacy so that all autistic individuals could have a life full of opportunities and possibilities, free from stigma and bias. Today, Autism Edmonton is truly the village that love built. Although there is much more to do, we will work tirelessly within our community, friends and families, to celebrate our abilities through collaboration, engagement, and love. Big thanks to our ambassador for this year, Riker Lowen. He's been the Autism Edmonton ambassador for our Cycle for Autism and again for our Giving Tuesday in December. Riker also represented Autism Edmonton in the Shaw Charity Classic's big announcement of the funds they raised this past year. Please feel free to go check it out online, where you'll find Riker under the number 4. We're forever grateful for his dedication and selfless volunteerism. In our 50th anniversary, I want to recognize the profound and lasting impact that our founders, staff, and volunteers of Autism Edmonton have had on so many individuals in the autistic community. Without each of you, Autism Edmonton would not be able to help so many people in so many ways. Finally, we're excited to announce that we're establishing an endowment fund to provide legacy opportunities for those wishing to continue supporting the work we're doing in the name of a loved one. More information will be coming out soon. Thank you all for being here today. Please have fun and enjoy yourselves.
For your kind words. It is an honor to have so many important individuals recognize the milestone Autism Edmonton has achieved. You may not know, but 50 years ago, Autism Edmonton was started by a group of parents who all shared one thing in common. They were raising kids, like me, on the autism spectrum. Now we all know we kids are nothing but joys and delight, but sometimes my mom really appreciates the support from Autism Edmonton. I'll let you hear that directly from her.
Thanks, Riker. We've all heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. And although it sounds like a cliche, it's as relevant for our community as it is for everyone else. It takes a village to support autistic individuals in achieving their highest level of success. Autism Edmonton's beginning came from parents who cared and wanted to create opportunities for their children. They knew, and same as what we all know, is that we cannot do it alone. This past year of isolation has proven that. If there was any doubt, the theme and focus for the next 50 years will be built on the foundation that Autism Edmonton is the result of a village that love built. They are dedicated to the development of programs and services vital for the success of individuals on the spectrum, their family members, friends, and supports, as well as inspire others to rally around our community.
Well, I think that, love has definitely been our driving force, for, our son, but also as we've got to know people in our autism community for that community as well. I just have a powerful feeling of that love and connection for other moms. The kids that I have got to see grow up, the kids of other parents that I've known through the Autism Society, and the many kids I work with as a therapist. They pull at my heart in a way that is so powerful that all those kids that I've known and worked with through the years, it felt good to know that my volunteer life was also committed to hopefully making our community better for them too.
It's an interesting question. I often think, particularly as I matured in my field and was able to think back and look at what parents want. Parents, we say these things like parents are the children's first teacher. Parents know children's best, but I don't believe that that's what we really live up to in schools. I think we often believe that we're the expert. And the power of what I've learned is that parents should be the children's best champion, because they have unconditional love and unconditional perspective of their children. So, and it does take, I think when you talk about through love, it is not easy to have a child with disability. It's not easy to have a child with autism. Society continues to frown upon if that child has a panic attack in the community and it's seen as a tantrum rather than an environmental irritant that's causing that child to have that disable moment. So it is so important that parents have a community that trusts, values, sees the strength in each other. And I think many of these parent groups, and particularly the Autism Society, to endure 50 years, illustrates that the strength of the parents and the strength of reaching out to each other and other professionals that have come to walk alongside the parents does really help create that idea that it takes a village.
Happy anniversary, Autism Edmonton. I was first introduced to Autism Edmonton about 20 years ago when I was invited to attend one of the galas in support of the society. A few years later, my own son would be given a diagnosis of autism, and the society is the first place that I went to for help and answers. In fact, it's the first place that I send my friends and colleagues to when they reach out to me, advising that they have also received a diagnosis of autism for their child or family member. I can't even imagine 50 years ago what little information would have been available to parents and families at that time. When I was doing my research 18 years ago, when my son was first diagnosed, at that time there was just a multitude of books starting to be written and published. And I remember going to the library or the bookstore regularly to try and get my hands on whatever information I could to educate myself. If you can imagine 30 years prior to that, where would the information have come from? These parents were visionaries, they were leaders, and thanks to them and their foresight and determination, we have an amazing society today which we can all look to for support for our individuals and our families of people with autism. Thank you, Autism Edmonton, for 50 years of service, and thank you to the initiative of those people that took it upon themselves to start this society over 50 years ago.
Well, because it means a lot to us, because I think that that's where it started. That's how the Autism Society and the Edmonton Autism School started, was being a community, a family, supportive of all the families, and that's how they became for us. For very many years, they were our go-to, they were our celebrations, our tears, our help, and we always looked to the teachers as being, they became our friends, and our family, and so
all of the celebration, all the celebrations with all the celebrations that we had with that school.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a very appropriate theme for the anniversary, and we wish the Autism Society a wonderful 50th anniversary, and we're so glad to be all around to be able to celebrate it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we wanted, was a village that loved us, a village that accepted our kids wherever they were, that they would tolerate the eccentricity, I guess, of the kids, that they would just understand, okay, yeah, they're different, so yeah, they're human, yeah, they can come and they can take part in what we're doing. And just expanding the knowledge of others as to how to handle them, how to live side by side with them and not be afraid of them. Mm-hmm. was what we all wanted. Because in those early days, the kids were kept at home, never let out in society, never acknowledged. But no, that's what we wanted, was to be part of our community.
Good.
We have achieved a lot over the past 50 years, but we know there is a greater need for us to grow our services. With that in mind, we hope to invest in the financial sustainability of the organization by establishing a Forever Fund that will help support the organization for years to come.
Each year,
We spend time finding the funds to keep our programs going. If we had a forever fund, we could focus on providing more services and would not have to worry about securing funding for our pantry program, summership for our youth, and providing peer support to adults. By participating in our village campaign, your contribution will not only have you recognized in our village that is decorating the walls of our office, but it will also help to grow our Forever Fund, allowing us to focus on the programs and services that our community truly needs. What does this village look like? Here is Anastasia Borovic from Melnichuk Real Estate Group at Century 21.
Looking to be on Acceptance Avenue? Here is a freshly listed, completely customizable Tudor-style home. It's located in well-thought-after neighborhood of Kindness. Homes are selling really quick here, so now is your chance to get in at the ground level. They all priced well, and they all come with their own charitable tax receipts. The minimum donation is $100, and you can buy and customize any of these homes.
What can you expect when you call our phone line? Well, one of our support services team will gladly take your call and register your donation. They will send you an email, and you can have your contribution reflect who you are by picking out your house style, colors, as well as a few other options. Thank you in advance for contributing to our village. We look forward to walking by and seeing your name on our wall. Now here's Riker to tell you how to call.
That's a village I'm proud to be a part of. In December, we've made a commitment to have no call unanswered with our Giving Tuesday campaign. Today, we also want to leave no call unanswered, and we want to give a special shout out to our amazing call center folks who are on standby ready to help you build your legacy in our village. Just call this number on the screen. If you haven't already, I'll give you another chance to get your phones out. Here's another beautiful house, but don't just take my word for it. But here is Dan Bastarash from Now Real Estate Group.
Seeking that perfect place for your whole family to enjoy? Well, look no more. In the highly sought-after neighborhood of Opportunities is this perfect bungalow-style home with a fully fenced yard for the whole family to enjoy and even have a barbecue. Proceeds from the sales of this property support the most vulnerable people who no longer have questions about where their next meal will be coming from, and they are better equipped to be productive and positively support their families and themselves. This is why Autism Edmonton has proudly given over 50,000 meals since the inception of the pantry 4 years ago. Oh, and bonus, the Senave Spray Park is just around the corner.
Can you believe we were able to get Doug McLean to call our races? This guy's done it all, from calling the Euro Cup of racing in 2016, where we saw legend Ducky Bilbert come on the scene, all the way to 2019, where he was part of the World Cup Duck Race Championships. This controversial race saw Duck McDuckerson plucked from the racing scene way too early. 2020 races were cancelled due to the lack of ability to migrate due to COVID, but we were happy to have Doug Duck out of his other responsibilities to help us this week. So without further ado, here's Doug McLean with the first race of the night.
Doug McLean back along with you here. We'll take a look now at the course overview for the team race. You can see the ducks all set to go. This one full of a little more greenery. But again, lots of obstacles along the way, and you can see the narrow gaps that they will have to deal with through the Polar Park and Siding 14 sections. They'll make their way here to the Cameron Corporation curve, and again, lots of rocks, some random signs for some reason. They'll turn here at Town Square and make their way along to this island. The Flamen Fjord comes up right here, and again, more obstacles, random gates and fences thrown into the river. A little bizarre, but nonetheless, some interesting challenges for the Ducks to deal with. More rocks here at the Banded Peak finish line. And there you see how they will drop over the edge and to infinite glory. The Ducks have done their course planning. They've seen the overview themselves, and now they are all set to go here in the team race. Bunch start as they will face these initial obstacles. Lovely spring day, and there you get a good look at some of those early challenges they will have to find their way through. Trops and Basuyan out to an early lead. Teach me how to ducky, trying to teach himself how to get back in front. But there you see MGD and Trops and Basuyan out in front. Handful of Ducks struggling with that island. And there you get a good close-up of our leaders. Now leading edge Windy Wild Ducks making their way through. Thunderbeaks also now in good shape here in the lead pack. CCI Quacken does a good job to sneak through those two rock barriers. And leading edge Windy Wild Ducks gets stuck up trying to go that shortcut route around the side, and that will not work. Thunderbeaks will finish in first place here in the team race. CCI Quacken comes through in second, and now we've got a bit of a complication around that rock section. Team Riley Waddlers in third place. Trops and Basuyan, who had a really quick start, will finish in fourth. But now a big traffic jam around this rock area at the finish line, and it does trick you. You think you can sneak by, but no. It just holds you. As more Ducks head over the finish line. There you get a look at some of the results. And still, these three Ducks unable to free themselves, more looking to join the party. Duck Dynasty now about to head over. And the Ducks that are caught up there, Fermented Floaters, leading edge Windy Wild Ducks that did have a good start earlier on in the race, and Quackpots. And there you can see back earlier, Duck Dynasty also stuck up around some of those rocks and bridge remnants. Beer Bellas considering this shortcut route, but realizing that that is not the way to go, and decides to go and check out how Duck Dynasty is doing. So we've got a bit of a challenge here at the end. 4 Ducks are stuck, 2 trying to make their way to the finish line, but seemingly in no rush to do so. Beer Bellas spinning and floating and finally pushed towards the finish line by Duggan Bad News Bears. Make that Bad News Beers, my apologies. And they are now over the finish line, and that will wrap up the team race. Thunderbeaks, CCI Quacken, Team Riley Waddlers, 14th leading edge Capilano Village Ducks, 16th Kenny G.
Wow, what a race. Can you believe the Thunderbeaks was able to pull it through at the end? Now to head over to learn more about where we came from and the people who got us here. Over to you, Maureen.
The past 50 years could not be possible without the ongoing support of our sponsors. As an organization that does not receive funding through the government contracts, donations have enabled us to serve the community and continue to build the village. We are reminded every day of the support we receive, especially through the pandemic, and we're thankful for donor support in helping us deliver programs and services to over 4,000 people that benefit each year. You really do make extraordinary things happen. We want to acknowledge all the sponsors who have given us support throughout the galas for the past 25 years, some of whom have been around from the beginning. Also, a huge thank you to all organizations and individuals who have been contributing every single year.
Over the past 10 years,
We have had more than 8,000 individuals and families contribute to the success of Autism Edmonton. All gifts, regardless of size, are significant. Just to give you an idea of how your donations help, a gift of $500 allows us to give 10 hours of advocacy support for a family in crisis. Or a gift of $25 will provide us with an hour of facilitation for one of our peer support groups. We are deeply grateful for your ongoing support of the work we do. As we've been sharing with you throughout the night, we have an opportunity for you to get involved and be a part of our Forever Fund. Portions of our house sales will support programs we deliver now and will be added to our Forever Fund. This is an endowment fund that we have established with the Edmonton Community Foundation.
Also, thank you to all sponsors and teams who contribute each year to our Cycle for Autism. We're excited to announce Cycle 2021 will be Sunday, June 6th. Please watch our website for more details and updates to come. And now, here's Ken Morrison from the Ken Morrison team at RE/MAX Excellence to share this new listing on Advocacy Street.
Attention first-time buyers and investment seekers. This is the home for you. Right in the middle of Appreciation Avenue and Advocacy Street is the perfect starter home for a young couple or new family. The great big windows in this ranch-style home give you the most fantastic views of Ferry Park. By purchasing this home, you are investing in Autism Edmonton's community advocacy program. This program provides system navigation while helping to build skills and capabilities for individuals to have their best possible future.
We want to thank the amazing volunteers who make all our events happen and have been supporting Autism Edmonton. Huge thank you to all of those who gave their time to help us create this amazing celebration event and kick off our 50th year. Our volunteers are critical to us, and when we lose one, it's like losing a member of our family. You might have heard that right before Christmas, Chelsea Japaka, who's been actively involved in our community, passed away unexpectedly. Chelsea easily made friends in our adult support group and took that kind, caring nature with her when she spent countless hours volunteering. She was one of the most eager volunteers we've ever had, constantly stepping up to give back. Chelsea had a heart of gold, one that held a special place for Autism Edmonton and the community we serve. To honor her, we're establishing the Chelsea Japaka Volunteer Recognition Award. It will be given to people who have demonstrated leadership and initiative while volunteering to help us further our mission and vision, and whose contributions have made a significant impact on the lives of autistic individuals.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Chelsea and what the autism community meant to her. The autism community was Chelsea's lifeline in the last few years. It was everything that gave her support, inclusion, friendships. They were leaders for her, and they really just made her feel like she was part of a community. So a little bit about Chelsea. She grew up very hardworking. We grew up on a farm, so because she was just always willing to lend a hand. I think as humans, some of the things you can give away for free are your time and your love, and they don't cost anything, but they mean so much, and she did that all the time. She gave from her heart. She gave to everyone she met. Part of that work ethic she had growing up that my parents instilled in her, along with finding out about her autism as an adult with that diagnosis, she instantly became this passionate advocate for the autism community and this champion for people with autism. She just lived her life as an example to each and every person that she met, that there's hope and that you can be kind, and you can give yourself, because it doesn't cost money, to just be a good human. And Chelsea was good with that. This award means so much to our family to have it in Chelsea's name, because I believe it's going to honor her memory by promising to treat our friends and our family and our community with a caring heart and sincere interaction, and to move through this life with the desire to help out others. And finally,
It reminds us to hold our hearts open, to allow others in, regardless of circumstance. And I think that Chelsea would be looking down right now with that smile that everybody knew and loved, that contagious smile, and she would be giving her best Oilers fist pump, just absolutely excited about this. And we just want to thank the Autism Edmonton community for the last few years of being a huge impact on her life and our lives. And congratulations on 50 years, and we wish you all the best in your successes and doing the amazing job you're doing in the community over the next 50 years.
Since the establishment of the organization, volunteers have been a key part in ensuring Autism Edmonton's success. Today we want to put the spotlight on them. Volunteers have helped us deliver programs, secure funding, and build autism awareness and acceptance. Each of our volunteers is motivated by different reasons to join us, but one thing that they all share in common is the passion to support Autism Edmonton and the community that we serve.
We had just come from Whitehorse actually, and there was a little notice in the paper. It must have been very small, and I think I heard on CBC something about parents with autistic kids who might want to meet. And the purpose really at that time was to hopefully get a school established, to get a school, because we were the younger ones actually in that group. And at that time Kathy was maybe 4.5 going on 5 almost, and had just been newly diagnosed with, and that's what brought us to Edmonton with autism. And at that time, I think the other ones were maybe 7 to 10 maybe, mostly from Edmonton. There was one couple that I think came all the way from Whitecourt, because their son I think was 10, and he you know, they were all at danger of going to Red Deer. I don't know if you knew about the Red Deer Institution. Big outfit in Red Deer. Yeah. So these parents were trying to get something for their kids, and that's what these early meetings were all about. It was just a handful, maybe 8 parents or so, a very small number of parents that met initially. In those early days, we were then involved with parents, giving our own parent support and things, you know, trying to do something and trying to work with social services, maybe trying to get things for our kids in the community, I guess. That's basically what it was, and for the parents to have a place to meet too. So that's when I was more involved later on then. Well, I think it just shows, you know, we're a small group, but it shows you, it gets you somewhere if you all work for the same goal. I think we were focused. Yeah. Like we knew what we wanted to maybe get going, and we worked over, you know, it wasn't always easy, but we managed, and there were some very motivated people in there, including Boone. She definitely was. Yeah, so that was good. So we had a few ambitions, I guess.
When I think about the committee, I'm thinking about actually the board. We joined in 1991, and you know, really had that grassroots parents, and we didn't have self-advocates on the board consistently, but it was always something that we discussed and became successful at having as time went on. One of the things that we realized is that we had a couple of things happen that were tragic because of people in care not being cared for properly. So there was a tragedy where a young man died while he was in care. That was in 1992. So it was just very shortly after we joined the board, and we were just horrified and felt like something needed to be done. So one of the most significant activities we did early on was join up with PDD, you know, persons with developmental disabilities, which was a relatively new part of the Human Services Ministry at that time, and talk to them about how are people who are in care protected, and what is the responsibility of the people who are funding these groups, and how do we ensure that people aren't abused and they aren't neglected and they get proper care. And so Gino and some other amazing members of our board at that time, like Barbara Stewart and Corinne Callan and Patty Duren-Huberman, were involved in a working group with the government of Alberta, and out of that group came the Protection of Persons in Care Act. And that was really initiated and pushed for by Autism Edmonton. And so that bill was passed, and a piece of that was also the abuse protocol that was a part of that established a requirement for reporting of abuse of adults with disabilities in the same way that that people are required to report abuse of children when they see it, right? We're required as professionals, I'm a therapist as well, to report abuse, and really all of us, you know, as a community. And that was one of the first things that we did that we felt made a really significant and profound difference, not only for people with autism, but folks with any sort of diagnosed disability where they required support and care. Around the same time, realized that in order to be able to do that kind of work, we needed to have the funds so that we weren't doing it all as parents at home, right? And that we had some office support. At the time, we had one part-time office person who brought her puppy to work. So yeah, so that was one of the reasons that we thought we needed to do something like a gala, and Bruni Seneve actually initiated that first gala, and but Dad jumped right in and pulled in all his business connections, and
because of Nikki and because of her nature, you know, we got involved to try to help one Knickknack and, you know, other people. So, I mean, we were involved in different committees over the years, just to try to get this. I mean, for example, when we came on the board, I thought that we should run it like a business. Therefore, I used to say, we're going to have a meeting and we're going to do this, this, and this. And if you want to have a conversation about your son or daughter, after. And it took me probably half a year to get that across.
We have been involved with every gala for since the first one in 1994 till the most recent one in 2019. So that was 25 years of being involved with that piece of. So I think that in terms of continuity, I think we might be the longest term lifers as far as that.
Hi, my name is Grace, and I am one of the volunteers for the Autism Edmonton Volunteer Pantry Program. And I joined because I know that many individuals and families do struggle with food insecurities. And that is no exception with individuals and families on the autism spectrum. We need services like the Pantry Program to support individuals and families and to make sure to provide for their basic needs. Thank you, Autism Edmonton, and happy 50th anniversary, and thank you for making me.
Because that's the grassroots support that you get. Your volunteers are the ones who have the initial and, you know, the heartfelt commitment to the organization, and that would be like parents, family members of the people who are involved, and they're the ones who will keep it going.
Right.
Just keep doing good work that you have been for the last 50 years, if you can believe it. 50 years of fabulous work. Happy 50th, Edmonton Autism.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful year for the celebration.
Thank you. Thank you.
Urban Chic. Experience the rhythm of Friendship Avenue with lots of day and night activities, shopping, flame and fitness, and lots of restaurants just around the corner. This modern craftsman has been completely updated. There are also lots of benefits included in the purchase price. One of them is a full month of support group meetings for autistic individuals and their caregivers.
Attendee race, where you all get to see your proteges that I know you've trained extremely hard perform here in front of your very eyes. We'll see how they deal with that early island split. Chuck, Grumpy Duck do a good job coming up the right-hand side, and there you see the remainder trying to keep pace. Duckalicious right up there as well. And there is the pack making its way past that initial rock barrier. Through the broken bridge section, it will be Grumpy Duck, Ray Wing, and Princess Peach that come out well in front. Many of the other ducks struggling to deal with that wood from the broken bridge. Grumpy Duck turns the corner in great shape, takes that angle well, and looks like he's heading to the left under the bridge. Grumpy Duck putting together an outstanding performance here. Princess Peach trying to keep pace. Ray Wing and Ducky 2, along with Firequackers, trying to catch up. But Grumpy Duck looking to go almost wire to wire here. Can he take the final turn? Oh, and the little nudge from Princess Peach, and he will. Grumpy Duck. Princess Peach, she finishes in second. Mommy Duck in third, but Grumpy Duck, one of the rare times all week we've seen a duck go nearly wire to wire from the beginning to finish first. There you see some of the remaining finishers. Jojo in 20th. And now a whole bunch of them. I can't even keep pace with all these ducks. You've trained them so well, they're just coming flying through the finish line here right now. Outstanding quick performances here today by these attendee ducks. A handful in behind, still trying to catch up. It looks like Smart Duck back near the bridge section now, finally moving again. Squash King, Paul Brandt make it over the edge. Bambina there as well. And there we have Duck Duck Bear in 82nd place. And now Smart Duck. Have to think just checking out the landscape. Maybe doing some work on a PhD, I'm not sure. But slowly but surely coming through here toward the finish line in the attendee race. There you'll have it. Grumpy Duck, Princess Peach, Mommy Duck, 1, 2, 3.
Man, these races just keep getting better and better. Here's a chance for you to meet a few more of our board members and staff.
Today, Autism Edmonton celebrates its 50th anniversary. Since the establishment of the organization, we've overcome many challenges, and the year leading up to the milestones has been like no other. Still, our focus has remained on serving the community, and here's a glimpse of how we've been pivoting our services to meet our members' needs. Thank you for helping us develop the village to where it stands today.
Okay, I'm off to the food bank. See you in about an hour. Our pantry program assists people on the autism spectrum or families who have a child on the autism spectrum who are experiencing food insecurity. Food insecurity can even mean that a family might be spending so much of their grocery budget on their child who has a very rigid diet, they find that they don't have enough money left over for regular grocery items for the rest of the family. The pantry program is designed to provide access to healthy food and other essential items in an autism-friendly environment. The items we distribute are received from the Edmonton Food Bank. Generally, our members can access items like bread, eggs, yogurt, canned goods, cereal, pasta, rice, and snacks. We often have access to gluten-free items to be able to cater to those who have these types of dietary needs. We currently have about 98 members on our pantry list, and we typically distribute hampers to 8 to 10 clients per week. We have clients who access our pantry weekly, as well as those who will only call in occasionally for a hamper order when they feel they need it. Our pantry is open to all Autism Edmonton members who are in need, and there is no cost to access this service. During COVID-19 restrictions, we take hamper orders on the phone, and then we schedule appointments for Thursdays, at which point our members can come at their assigned time to pick up their items.
Thank you.
When it comes to adult programming, we found an increased need for supports during COVID-19. That's why we have doubled the number of adult support group meetings and added a new group for the LGBTQ plus members. We are also continuing to offer our support groups to partners and parents of autistic adults. These are all helping build healthy families. Due to the virtual aspect of programming, we are now able to expand our reach to include individuals outside of the Edmonton metropolitan area. By moving things online, we've also been able to keep our adult recreational program, The League, going. We are offering virtual hangout sessions 4 times a month. This provides a safe space where people can feel accepted and belong as their true authentic selves in a safe, non-judgmental environment.
We are excited at Autism Edmonton to have launched our community advocacy programming in November of 2020. This means direct advocacy on an individual level for our members who may need support in this way. It also looks like big picture advocacy, where we liaise with government officials and other agencies on what the best possible outcomes could look like for the autistic population and community here in Alberta. We're so eager about this programming because it was born out of a need that was voiced by the people that we work for. From there, we noticed a real lack of accessible advocacy. We make it a point to work alongside people instead of speaking for them, because we believe the most powerful tool in advocacy is education, and educating people to be able to advocate for themselves. We work hard to help amplify autistic voices and to make sure that they're heard by everybody who needs to hear them, and to make sure that we're there to support them along the way in becoming their own self-advocate.
So one of the great things about the Ocasio program is its social aspect. I think it's so important for youth to have the opportunity to make friends with other children their age, especially with peers who share the same interests. So we play games together, we create together, and we really build those connections and friendships. So to me, Ocasio is unlike any other program, as it offers so much to its participants, but it also gives us so much experience and joy to work with them. So during COVID, we've all been through a lot, and having a place to go where your child can just be themselves, it's such a great thing for parents. So not only is it providing the parents with a bit of a break, but it's also giving their children the opportunity to socialize with their peers. Many children aren't able to go to school or see their friends or their families right now during the pandemic. So being able to come to Ocasio events is really important for both the kids and the parents, just to make those connections and to keep having those opportunities.
I'm Ken Morrison with Remax Excellence. You'll love this updated home in the heart of downtown that's situated steps away from anything you could ever need, including Cameron Developments Arena. Your purchase of a home will help autistic adults develop social cues, build friendships, and get active, giving them the sense of belonging in a non-judgmental environment where they are free to be their authentic self.
As would be expected, the grand final course will present all kinds of obstacles, challenges, and even weather for these ducks. We've taken them from the warmth of the beaches to the frigid temperatures of this snowy day. The Autism Edmonton Greatest Duck Race Ever Grand Final will see many bends and curves. First off here, the Cameron Corporation curve. And again, these narrow banks, ice-filled banks this time around, through the Polar Park Brewing section. We're going to get a really up-close look at that tree through the Siding 14 swirl. And now the Town Square turn, followed by the Bent Stick Bend. Another tree island. We've seen a few of those in different formats over the course of this week, and they have definitely caused some challenges for our competitors. The Flamin Fjord here at the end will lead the ducks to the final long straightaway towards the ultimate drop-off and the finish line. And that tree could potentially come into play if it falls over and blocks the whole course. We'll keep an eye on that throughout this evening's action. But you see that straightaway to the Bended Peak finish line. And this is what the Ducks must contend with here tonight if they are going to come away as grand final champions. The Ducks are anxious. I'm anxious. Everyone's ready to go. We are moments away from getting this final underway here for the Autism Edmonton Greatest Duck Race Ever. The snow is flying, feathers are flying, and the ducks are ready. The tension is palpable here for the grand final of the Autism Edmonton Greatest Duck Race Ever. Rai Duck with a good start. Grumpy Quackers right in behind. And you'll see this pack navigate these early bends. There you get a great overview of what they have to deal with. Fendi with a really good start, finding a great line through the course of these bends. Grumpy Quackers in behind, and the pack, including Midgie, trying to keep pace. Fendi, though, right now in great shape. Darkwing coming well back at the moment. Fendi, though, gets caught up a little bit with that sharp turn, but seems to find a way through. And there you get a great close-up view of the intensity here that Fendi is showing along with these other ducks trying to win the grand final. There you see on the left that island that we talked about in the course overview. This has caused challenges throughout the various courses these ducks have faced. Fendi strikes the island but seems to find a better line to the left and is still in good shape. Duck Norris trying to catch up here right now. And there you get a look at some of the remaining ducks trying to get back into this race. Vincenzo and Big Bird in behind, and in case the ducks are a little chilly, a nice fire set up here along the snowy banks. There is Sir Quack-A-Lot with a late push, and Sir Quack-A-Lot opening up a huge lead as Fendi, the leader throughout most of the race, gets trapped just at that last Flamin turn. Sir Quack-A-Lot in great shape to win the grand final. but perhaps a little bit cocky right now. There are no fans here to be waving to, but it looks like Sir Quack-a-Lot trying to say hi to everyone. Now comes Sir Quacks-a-Lot with an S. Who is going to take it? Oh, and Sir Quack-a-Lot comes through in near photo finish. Midgie in second, Fendi in third, Sir Quacks-a-Lot with an S in fourth. An unbelievable close finish here, as to be expected in the grand final. 14th place in the winner of Siding 14 beer is Indiana Duck. Anico will take home suds from Original 16. That for finishing in 16th spot. Now you see Darkwing Duck at a bit of a slow start. Now will end up in 23rd, followed by Moby Duck and Dixie. Duct Tape seemingly stuck in various points along this final stretch. Comes through in 26th. There you see Big Bird, well back at this point. Geo, that had some success earlier on here this week, slowly swimming its way to 28th. There, Vincenzo, equally slow down this final straightaway, only trailed by Big Bird. And Big Bird, despite the fact this does look like a street, does not seem to be overly comfortable here right now, making its way along toward the finish line. Sir Quack-a-Lot, the champion of the grand final. Midgie in second, Fendi third, Big Bird last. Couple more races, Stuck Duck and Washout to come. And of course, none of this could be possible without the great help from our sponsors. Our beer sponsors are Bent Stick, Original 16, Siding 14, Polar Park, Town Square, and Banded Peak. And our other great supporters, Cameron Corporation, Leading Edge, and Flamin Fitness. No duck left behind could be the motto here of the greatest duck race ever from Autism Edmonton, as any ducks that did deal with some challenges earlier on in the week, getting stuck behind rocks or bridges or fences, do have a chance to compete here on the final night. Moby Duck, you get a great look here of the overview of this course. Moby Duck right now in front. But as has been the norm for some of these competitors this week, getting a little bit sidetracked, especially through this Stonehenge-like section of the early part of this course. Mama Duck and Princess Pain right now taking the lead. WZ in behind. Princess Pain does a good job to deal with that fallen down sign, but then gets stuck on the fence. Moby Duck, though, a good job to navigate through, does an outstanding job to just bounce off the side of the cliff, miss the rocks, but then gets stuck back around and is going to go float all the way back through to where it came from. And you can see why this is the stuck duck race, because at the moment, most of them are stuck. But now we finally get moving again. Moby Duck and WZ trying to find their way through. And there is another Moby Duck, this one with the traffic cone, out in front of Moby Duck with the Mohawk. And here that treacherous piece at the end that the ducks try to go to the right and get stuck, but Moby Duck traffic cone will finish in first. Moby Duck Mohawk in second, Princess Pain third, JY in fourth. So far, none of the ducks trying to go this right way, and as soon as I say that, of course, Back in Black tries it out, but that is not the route to success. Back in Black will head over the finish line in ninth. Duck Diggler checking out this piece right near our camera location, and then decides better of it and heads the other way. Will that be the decision to get Duck Diggler over the finish line? It appears to be so. Scrooge McDuck taking full use of that helmet as it crashes into the rocks. Sir Dunkalot heads over the line in 11th, and now we wait for the miserly Scrooge McDuck to follow suit. But Moby Duck takes the prize here in the Stuck Duck race. Welcome back, and we're now set for the washout race here at the Autism Edmonton Greatest Duck Race Ever. Doug McLean back for the call here at Quackatoa. This was the same course used for the quarterfinal. And the same pattern that we saw there. All the ducks in a bunch here through this early phase of the race as they deal with all these bends and icy bank sections. Go Granny doing just that. Out in front right now. Connor McDuckvid back in last place. So speed not a factor for Connor McDuckvid. And now a look at the roundabout section. As we saw in the quarterfinals, the duck that finds a way to skip this is in good shape. And there you see the first, Quack Daniels. Skipping the roundabout, Harold trying to do the same thing. And Quack Daniels has opened up a decent-sized lead under the bridge. Dawn now giving chase. And that icy island, which did cause some challenges in the quarters. Through the Flamin Fitness section. And another roundabout. Quack Daniels, can he avoid it twice? Pato Loco, little chillier here than maybe where that sombrero came from. But Pato Loco will head through that roundabout, does not choose the skip route. But now Quack Daniels, having come around the roundabout, gets past that island. Not far right now from the finish line, but a tough break there, bouncing back under the Flamin sign and seems to be not moving forward. And the Fuzz has made a late push here in the washout race. Quack Daniels trying to get some momentum back on side. Construction Ducker also trying to do the same, but it will be the Fuzz up and over the ice and down in first place. Quack Daniels, who looked to be in sure command of this race, looks to be in decent shape for second. It'll be Quackers in third, followed by Construction Ducker and SB. Duck Dodgers over in sixth, and you can get a look at all the ducks trying to make their way through the bends and turns of this Quackatoa course. Pato Loco, nice job to finish in 8th, just ahead of Ralph. Ducky in 10th. And Connor McDuckvid, after a slow start, comes in 13th. Go Granny, the winner of Siding 14 beer for the 14th place finish. Duck Norris in 16th. Winner of Original 16 beer. As more ducks make their way through, still a few to come. Cheese looks to be well back at this point in time. And there you see JT Duckling. So as we wait for the final finishers, I just want to say thanks for allowing me to come and be part of this great week of duck racing. It has been really thrilling through all the various courses, all of the ducks we've seen. And there you see Cheese well back in that second roundabout. We've seen outstanding races throughout. And of course, this could not happen without the great support of sponsors like Bent Stick, Original 16, Siding 14, Polar Park, Town Square, Banded Peak, Cameron Corporation, Leading Edge, and Flamin. And of course, all of you for contributing and being a part of this duck race. as cheese slowly but surely makes its way to the finish line. I'll send it now back to the studio to wrap up. Thanks again for tuning in all week to the Autism Edmonton greatest duck race ever.
We would like to take this time to thank everyone who participated in this evening's event. We know that this has been a hard year for many, and we would like to acknowledge those of you who continue to support Autism Edmonton with your time and donations. This enables us to continue growing our village and helps us to fulfill the belief that all autistic individuals deserve to achieve their highest level of success. That is why we provide knowledge, opportunities, and advocacy to autistic individuals and families. And we can now officially say, for over 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you for being a great audience tonight. Thanks to all our greatest duck race teams and participants. Charles Duckins couldn't bother to be here tonight, but from Autism Edmonton, you have all been just ducky, and we hope you have enjoyed hanging out with us all week. And a huge thank you to everyone who purchased their legacy in our village that love built. Continuing to grow and expand, we can look forward to when we can all meet again in person and we can unveil your house in our village. Thank you for making this anniversary a great celebration. We hope to see you in June and have you be a part of Cycle 2021. Follow along in our newsletter or check out our website for more details. Our phone lines will be open until 9 p.m. tonight, or check out our website for more information on how you can support Autism Edmonton both now and in the future. For one last glimpse into our village, here's Dan Bastarash from Now Real Estate Group to share one last house that you could make yours.
Hi, I'm Dan Bastarash with Now Real Estate Group. Have you been searching for the perfect fixer-upper? This beautiful Victorian-style home on Inclusion Drive in the Taylor Development community is looking for the love and care we all deserve. Such a great opportunity to build your dream home on already established roots. And you can help Autism Edmonton fulfill their dream of how the community embraces individuals on the autism spectrum. Your contribution will give you a tax receipt and strengthen the foundation for building an inclusive and accepting society.